It's your father's tackle box. It's the worn stock of your grandfather's old shotgun. It's the first fishing trip with your son. These are your traditions. It's our sportsman's heritage.
Hello and welcome to Sportsman's Heritage. This is Pollay. I'll be your host today as we go fishing for post-spawn bass with the Ranger Western Region Rep, Mr. Keith Tripp. Morning, Keith.
Morning, Kip. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Doing great.
You ready to catch some fish?
Well, I hope we can. Post-spawn fish, everybody seems to think that's a tough deal, but I think we can get them.
Yeah, I do too. I think we're in a transition period here. It's early May, and we've had a little bit of unstable weather. And I think the spawn drug on a little late. We're probably going to find some fish on the beds as well, but we're going to target the post-spawn bass, which a lot of anglers dread. But I think we can get on them. We've got a few baits I think that'll cover a lot of water for us. We've got crankbaits, soft jerk baits, Carolina rigs. We're going to see what we can come up with. I think we can get them.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's go get them.
Let's go get them. Over here and we'll work around.
Okay.
This back corner is usually pretty good too. Got some underground islands over here. Just have to watch out for them.
Yeah, those fish should be out off of those humps. So.
Yeah, I have a feeling as the day goes on we're going to find them out a little deeper. A lot of times we'll find them suspended this time of year. Now, I think the key today is going to be to fish slow because the fish are typically sluggish as we get into the post-spawn mode. You know, they've just got through all the hard work of the spawn, and they're not going to want to chase too fast, nothing too big too fast. So I'm going to probably do nothing real big, probably stick with some greens. We'll go into that a little bit later why. Let's see what we can catch.
Let's do it.
I think this is it.
Look at
that was the trick. You had to land on shore, and you had to bounce it off the bank, and the fish just go crazy. One cast, one fish. That's all right. It's going to be a good day, Keith. It ain't real big.
Watch those hooks.
He's mad, but I'll tell you what, he ain't hooked very good either. Okay. You notice I bounced that right off the bank. Today I'm going to be throwing, to start off with, I'm going to be throwing a crankbait. It's good for covering a lot of water, and it's generally a good bait this time of year in post-spawn. I'm going to run this bait a little bit slower than I normally do because, again, the fish are a little sluggish. They've been working hard and they're not going to want to chase nothing. Now this one was right on the bank. I kind of thought they'd be out a little further, but I'm going to keep throwing there. I'm using a green suspended model crankbait with an orange belly, and the reason for this is because this time of year I feel that they're going to be feeding on bluegill fry, their own fry. Bass eat their own a lot, and most of that's green. So we're going to try to imitate the food that they're eating. Let's see if that was lucky or if we're going to get some more. We're fishing for post-spawn bass today with Sportsman's Heritage. I'm Pollay. I'm with Keith Tripp from Ranger Boats. We'll be right back. go.
Never felt that fish, just all of a sudden the line started going.
Here's a little better one. Just working that worm real slow.
Real slow. That fish was out off the bank a little bit. Nice fish.
Not bad.
They're all fun.
That's right.
Never felt that fish bite, Kip. It just, all of a sudden the line started heading to deep water.
See if he'll come back. He's on there. Got him.
Looks like
Drop
a good
shot
one.
fish. I don't know if he's very good or not. He doesn't feel very good. He's holding down pretty strong. These little fish out here, and sometimes, I mean, they may be sluggish, but once you get them on, they're fighting pretty good. That one does not want to come up though. Not a bad fish. The lip. Not a bad little fish.
All right, I'll bust out the drop shot.
Now the drop shot's picking up a few fish now too. Like I was saying before, this is a bait you can use anytime, anywhere. And again, when I said earlier about throwing out the rules is definitely in effect here, because guys in a boat down the lake here told us they were using white and these guys were just catching fish left and right. So whatever it is, the fish are definitely attacking the white baits. That was my first cast and I got a fish on it. So we're gonna try another one here. Just using that soft jerk bait I was using earlier on the end of a drop shot, nose hooked with a little number 2 Gamakatsu hook. Running about a 1 foot tag on it. I'll bring it up, give you a look at it. Again, it's a real simple rig. If you don't do anything else, learn how to drop shot. I tell you, my kids, my wife, everybody loves this rig because they all catch fish. It's made a lot of money for the bass pros on tour. You simply take a little number 2 hook. It's just a real small light wire Gamakatsu hook, split shot hook, and you tie a little Pollay knot on it, and you make sure you leave some tag line. You start from the pointed end of the hook and you pull your line through. Depends on how high you want your tag end to be. I usually pull a couple feet through. I come back through one more time. You want to have lots of tag line over there. A simple Pollay knot. You just do a simple bow knot like you're tying your shoe. You come back through there, then you go right over the hook. Wet the line and cinch it down tight. Now this is that's your first step. Now it's good to take your tag end and run it from the point down one more time. And pull it on through. And what this is going to do when you're all finished, I'll show you exactly what I mean. When you're all finished, your hook's going to be standing straight up in the air. Because when a fish comes in and bites this and starts to swim off with it, you just gently reel up. It's not a hard hook set. You just gently reel up, and this really sharp hook ends up in the top lip every time. Now, this tag distance here, you're going to want to experiment with. But my last fish, I had about an 8-inch, 10-inch tag on it. So we slip on a little drop shot weight, or you can pinch on a split shot or whatever else you want, and it'll do fine. Now you typically going to use 4-inch worms, but these guys in the other boat gave me some of their soft jerk baits that they were using. They got them from my friend at Mesa Tackle. These are the ones they didn't give me, see? And I'm just going to nose hook it, because there's not a lot of structure down here, so I'm not worried about getting hung up and everything. And now basically, you can fish this rig vertically. If you're graphing fish, it's a good way to just drop right down and shake it right around the fish's face and they'll bite it. Or like we've been doing today, just casting out and slowly dragging it back. You can look in the water here kind of simulate what it's doing down there. When the weight's on the bottom, you just shake your slack line, and by shaking your slack line, it just kind of gives that bait a little swimming action. So what you're doing is simulating a bait swimming off the bottom. Very deadly technique. Like I said, a lot of pros on the tour making a lot of money. In fact, Keith just returned from Clear Lake, and I know the co-angler, who's a good friend of mine, named Jim Wickham out of Wickenburg, another Arizona boy. He won the co-angler division, drop shotted all his fish. Now the misconception is it's a small fish bait. Well, Jimmy caught a 10-pound fish, which was the biggest of the tournament at Clear Lake. So, you know, you will catch a lot of small fish, but you can get a big one as well. And I know Keith did real well with this technique at Clear Lake as well. Don't go nowhere. We're having a lot of fun catching a lot of fish. We're not done yet. Well, Keith, it's been a nice day fishing. Thanks for coming out.
Kip, I appreciate you inviting me. Sure enjoyed it.
You bet. You guys, Ranger, have been real good to the Arizona Bass Federation, and being vice president and on behalf of the Federation, we'd like to thank you for all the stuff you do for us, and just wish you a lot of luck. I know that you're going to be the rep for the West now.
Got a lot of work to do, and can't wait. And we certainly appreciate all that the Federation does for Ranger as well. You know, Ranger has supported the Federation nationally for a lot of years, and you know, we still have the opportunity to work with the Arizona Federation, with yourself and Mike Johnson, and we appreciate, you know, the support that you give Ranger, and you know, that's what teamwork's all about. And you know, it helps us, helps you guys, and we're really excited. This year Ranger was the first year we've had the Ranger Cup involved with the Federation, and you know, from talking to you guys and all the tournament fishermen, I know they really appreciate what, you know, Ranger does, and glad it can work out for you.
What can we look for out of Ranger in the next coming year?
Well,
2004.
2004 is about here, and you know, I think we still want to grow the Ranger Cup. We obviously want to grow with the Federation. We've got EverStart Tournament Series out here in the West now, which is a, you know, Ranger supports real heavily, and you know, they support Ranger. We got one bass, both in the northern and the southern, which gives us exposure, you know, all through the West. And you know, working with tournament organizations and with the fishermen and is what it's all about. That's what helps Ranger grow their business. That's kind of the philosophy that, you know, Forrest has had since starting Ranger boats. And I don't think tournament fishing would be what it is today without the support of Forrest Wood and Ranger boats. And you know, the management staff that they have in place right now, you know, is using the same philosophies that we've been using for 35 years. And it's just a pleasure to be affiliated with a great boat company like Ranger.
What's the story on this NASCAR boat? This is a beautiful boat. Been meaning to ask you about it. It's to me, it kind of symbolizes one thing. I may not have a clue on what you guys got it for, but you know, NASCAR a few years back was virtually like I feel where fishing is now. It was just had a little cult following, and you know, like back east, fishing's been pretty big for a while, but it's sweeping the country right now. It's getting to be huge in the West as well. Evidence of, you know, when ESPN goes and buys BASS, you know you're on something. And I saw that emergence with NASCAR, and I wonder if what your ties are with them.
Well, we've got actually we've got a NASCAR fishing team. We've got several drivers that have Ranger boats, and then we've got some, you know, top name pros like Dion Hibden that are on the Ranger NASCAR team. And we've also got several packages available, like in a 519 and a 521 like this boat, with a NASCAR package and all decaled up, looking good. But you know, when Ranger looked at the demographics of a NASCAR fan and the demographics of a bass boat buyer, they're almost identical to a T. And we've got a multi-year agreement with them, and I think it's going to be a win-win for everyone.
Good stuff. Yeah, I'm sure the Ranger's going to be doing a lot more good things for the sport as we go on.
Well, I hope so. There's one.
Oh, good one.
Feels like a good fish.
Oh yeah, good fish. Good fish.
Down in the grass.
Down in the grass, got a mouthful. He's a good one.
Mouthful of grass. Couldn't let you outdo me.
There you go. Nice fish.
Right in the roof of the mouth.
Fire.
Thank you, sir.
You betcha.
That's what we came for.
That's what we came for right there.
Definitely post-spawn. 3 weeks ago, that fish probably weighed 5 or 6 pounds. There she goes. Thank you, sir.
You bet. Been a great day of fishing. We're fishing post-spawn bass today with Sportsman's Heritage. We're going to take a minute to visit our sponsors, so don't you go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Well, I think the fish are still seem to be up near the bank anyway. A lot of fish. I'm sure there's still some bed fish, and you know, we've got post spawn fish, and so fish are kind of scattered everywhere.
Yeah. First one we caught was a little small, and if we keep catching these small ones, we'll probably move out deeper. But we gotta work it. It's still fairly early in the morning, and we gotta see if we can stir up anything shallow.
See a fish swimming up there. I'm gonna throw up there, and oh, got his curiosity. There he goes. Got him.
Good stuff.
It's a nice fish. If you don't throw too close to him, just close enough to let him hear something coming on, the curiosity gets the best of him. This is a nice fish here.
Good fish. Caught that one roaming around. There you go. So got any rub on it?
Well, you can tell this fish is definitely post spawn. He's got a big old head on him. About a month ago, that fish would have probably weighed 3 pounds.
Show the tail down at the bottom.
You see the tail,
red.
See the red down on the tail and on the fin, and it's got the head of a 3-pounder and the body of a 1.5-pound fish right now. Tail's all beat up. We'll let her go. There she goes. That's what a weightless worm will do for you. I had the Dominator on, and I saw that fish just up sunning itself, and I threw it within about 2 or 3 feet, and fish just turned on it and nosed right up to it. So Reaction Innovations out of Scottsdale makes this bait, and it's just unbelievable. I'm going to give everyone a little boat care tip. Typically when you pull your boat out after fishing all day and you get it up on the trailer, everybody wants to stand around and talk about how their fishing day was, and you get in your car and drive home and you end up with a scum line on your boat. What I like to do is take Kickin' Bass boat spray, spray it down on the boat real quick, take a towel, wipe it off. Takes about 10 or 15 minutes and saves a lot of work later. Use it on the motor, the boat, the trailer, and just take a little time to take care of your boat. We all know Ranger boats last a lifetime, and if you take care of it, it'll look just like it does on day one 5 years down the road. Oh, nice one.
Double. Oh, I got a decent one. Hang on.
Oh, there's a good fish.
Hang on, hang on.
That's the one I think we saw there.
This was a good one. Hang on. No, not gonna rush this guy. 16-pound Segoy, but it's a good one. Come here, big dude. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Hang on to that. Man, that's a nice fish.
Carolina rig. That's what we came here for. But see, that's got a head a little bigger than the body too. Got a nice mouth on her. We got a double going here, boss.
What happened here?
What happened?
Mine's got a disease. Its head's too close to its tail.
Yeah. It's probably about a 4 plus.
That's a nice fish.
Close to 5. Good fish. Well, that'll conclude it for Sportsman's Heritage today. So until next time, keep your boots dry and your lines wet.